Hey guys. All right, let's talk deadlines. This is probably the biggest bone of contention between me and my authors, me and my other publishers. Deadlines. People hate them. People love them. Some people can't work without them. Some people will swear that a deadline is what kills their creativity, and some people will not write books without them. As a publisher, I can tell you we could not function without deadlines. Doesn't work. I've watched other publishers try to do it and they're all over the place. They don't have set release schedules that they can count on. They don't have a ongoing, this is what's coming, this is what's going, everything's rush, rush, rush. Over at Crazy Ink, we've got deadlines. I am so big on deadlines that people have said, I can't work here, I can't be at Crazy Ink. The deadlines are why. And that's totally okay. I get it. I do. I really do. But having come from a newsroom where I worked on daily deadlines, I always understood the importance of them. And when you're putting out 20 books a month, you understand quickly the importance of them. Our staff and the people who work at Crazy Ink would not be able to function, the editors, all of us, without deadlines. So for that reason, I'm huge on them. However, I am here today to tell you how to meet a deadline. It's really not complicated if you get it in your habits. This is your habit. This is how you're going to roll. This is how to get ahead on a book, on your deadlines, and how to stay ahead. Some of it's obvious. I mean, obviously you want to work at this every day. You don't want to take big breaks or let's have a huge celebration because I just finished a book. You've got to consistently show back up the next day to write the next book if you want to stay on top of deadlines. But that part's obvious. I'm going to tell you the other tricks that aren't so obvious. First thing I do when I want to stay ahead of deadlines, and I am so guilty of saying yes to every project that comes my way, of signing up for things that, I know I have too many projects, but here I am, I'll sign up. Sure, I'll do another series. I am so guilty of that, and I understand why other people are too. But for me, the way that I'm able to keep on top of that, because I've never missed a deadline in my journalism career or in book world, the way that I do that is I write multiple whips at the same time. And I know that's freaking people out to hear. I know that some people are like, I can only write one. I won't be able to keep track of the characters. You think that. I remember the first time I attempted to write more than one book at the same time, I was like, I can't do this. But now I'm in a spot where I do it so frequently, and generally the least amount of books I ever have is 2, but usually it's 3 to 4 at the same time. Here's the trick. When you pick what books you're going to write at the same time, write in the same tense and the same point of view. You do not want to do what I've done before, which is try to co-write 2 past tense, solo 1 present tense, and then work on an anthology that's required in another tense or a certain point of view. It gets messy and you end up having to rewrite a lot. So step 1, if you're going to do more than one whip at a time, which I absolutely advise, you always want to stay in the same point of view and tense. That will help you not screw up. Number 2, write by mood. If you are a multi-genre author, I'm assuming you have a horror piece, a romance piece, a historical fiction, whatever. Write by mood. You will have less excuses if you have more projects. This is something that helped me and I learned it late. I was like, well, I don't feel like writing that Ripper story today because I don't want to do the research. Well, instead of just going off and reading or doing something else, if I was in the mood to write but I didn't want to work on a project because of a certain reason, I'd put it down and walk away. That hurt me. What I should have done is said, well, I'm not in the mood for research today, but I could write something a little fluffier. Why don't I go to one of my rom-coms? Boom. I would have still been writing and getting in more words. Something I didn't learn until later on when I pushed myself up against deadlines and had no choice. So mood writing, don't feel bad about it. Do it. In fact, I encourage it. My better dark stuff comes when I'm in a bad mood. My better dark stuff comes on a rainy day or late at night. My better cheerful, funny, whatever is when I'm in a perfectly good mood on a sunny day and not quarantined with corona. So, it's okay to write by mood. In fact, I think it's therapeutic. When I'm pissed off, some of my best work comes, and they're dark because I call it rage write. Well, I get it all out. I say what I gotta say, because to me, writing is therapy. And then it's over. I'm done. It's processed. I feel better. But some days I'm not pissed off, which I know, a miracle. And those days I just want to write something fun, or maybe I'm upset because someone died, or one of my clients is struggling, and I just want to get my mind on something a little lighter. I go to those lighter projects. By doing that and having more than one whip open at a time, where I'm at different spots, one whip is about to be self-edited, another whip is like only 2 chapters in and doesn't even have a plot. Another whip is only got 2 chapters and an epilogue left. When I have choices like that, I find I'm able to sit down and write easier. I will write every day when I have choices. When I'm stuck on one project because I've pushed it too close to that deadline, I'm miserable. I cannot tell you how many times I've had contemporary romances, and that's my hardest genre. Because for me, unless I can screw up the character or make it quirky, to me they're boring. As a reader, I don't like them. So I always put some kind of little twist that makes it not boring into those stories. But even then, getting through the dynamics of the relationship and the character building in that genre is harder than when I get to start a book with a bloody kill scene, because to me it's already interesting. I know, I need help. But the point is that I've been pushed on deadlines for these contemporary romances, because a lot of the box sets I'm in and the outside projects I do are contemporary romance. When I get pushed like that, I don't write as well. I absolutely don't write as well as I would have if I was to basically have choices. So one thing I really think you should do starting now is get a couple projects going. When you get an idea for a new book, don't be like, oh no, cover my ears, I don't want to think about it. Start it. Why not? What's it hurting? It's eventually going to become a book anyway. You don't want to waste words ever. I never waste words. Don't waste words. If you come up with a plan and you only write, say, 2,000 words and you don't touch it for 2 years, did it hurt something? Because in 2 years, you're going to be psyched. You have 2,000 words in the beginning of a book. And you will have waited that time where you can self-edit it in a way that's objective, like a reader versus an author who's kind of already got ideas of what it should say or could say or all that. So to me, the way to beat deadlines is work on multiple projects at once. Never start a project more than 6 months or less than 6 months before it's due. I never ever write that close to deadline. 6 months, when I know a project is due at 6 months, I'm on that project. 6 months, I'm already stressed. I tend to write a year ahead. I know that's not possible for people that are trying to get themselves set up. But if you write every day when you're in your lulls and you don't have anything due, that's how you're going to get ahead. You can't go, well, I have a lull, so I think I'm going to go spend the summer kayaking, which we all want to do, and then think you're going to be ahead in, next spring. You're not. So a lot of this boils down to choices again. I'm still going to spend the summer kayaking, but I can promise you it's going to be a lot more peaceful, because I'm not going to go, but I have all this other stuff I could be doing. And why? Because a year ago, I was already doing it. And so by staying ahead, writing is more enjoyable. You don't dread it as much. You're able to focus on what's coming. You don't have to say no to all those millions of projects you don't want to say no to. And you're able to self-edit more effectively. Because the more whips you have, the more time you can afford to spend between reading each draft. So, and I did another video on that as well. Self-editing and how to put a book aside for a little while, and that is absolutely okay. That's the best way I know to self-edit. It will save your editors a lot of time, aggravation, and just brain if you do that. So those are my thoughts on meeting deadlines. Get ahead, stay ahead. When you are ahead, instead of having a party and blowing off writing for 2 months, keep writing. You got to do it every day. If you need a break, okay, take a day off. But even then, it's easier to stop than it is to start. So my thing is, even if I only do 500 words, but it's something, even if it's just a note in a whip, okay, make sure this character has a black suit on when he goes to the restaurant in chapter 8. That alone is something that's got me in the habit of every day I touch that book, every day I open a Word doc and do something that contributes to me having a book out 6 months from now. I stay ahead. I feel good about it. I don't stress about it. So those are my suggestions. Another way, co-write. Co-write. Find someone who writes like you. Find someone who writes your style, your speed. I will do a video on this too. You do not want a co-writer who doesn't have your same style, voice, tone, drive, or interest in writing. I'll do another video on that one. All right, guys. Facebook, yeah. YouTube's going to cut me off, so I got to wrap this up. But there are my thoughts on deadlines and how you can get ahead of them and never worry about them again, because I don't worry about deadlines. I got myself to a place where I'm ahead, and even though I don't have nearly the amount of books coming or writing done as I used to, I'm staying ahead. And it's by doing this. Multiple whips at the same time, writing every day, no matter how little it is, and writing by mood. And that's what I got there. Have a great day, guys. Happy writing. Take care of yourselves. And until next time, peace, love, books, and crazy.